All right, this is April 25th. I want to just talk briefly about a severe weather outbreak event that's expected this afternoon and how social media and the communication of this has been going. And this just came to mind as I was watching my feed on X, and I follow the Washington Post, and they noticed in one of their posts here this afternoon on April 25th, an outbreak of severe weather, including the potential for large damaging hail, destructive winds, and tornadoes, kicks off Thursday across the central states. And then some of the comments on this is an interesting comment. I just wanted to share this comment. This person wrote, one of the, under quotes, one of the most favorable setups for severe weather in years, unquote. That must have been in the article that the Post posted. But then this comment went on to say, nowhere does this story establish this statement as fact. Instead, it glosses over this failure by babbling on about risk zones. And he says, I have news for your reporter and editors. This is typical for this time of year. And yes, severe weather is typical for this time of year, but I think this is a really important issue now these days. When we talk about communication of weather information and particularly severe weather events and such, a lot of times our communication and the media in particular does tend to go a little bit overboard. And I'm just saying that in a broad brush general sense. Most of the time, I think it has a lot of value. Now, I'm not pointing my finger at the Washington Post in this case, but I'm just saying in general, in the communication business of meteorology, we do run the risk of kind of irritating people and just making them think that we're overhyping everything by the way we phrase things in our communications and all of that, and especially with social media, and you have X and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of these different sources where people are just getting blasted with their information. So I think it's a valid criticism that this viewer wrote in a reply. Severe thunderstorms, tornadoes are typical for this time of year. I think as a lesson from this is in the communication of weather information, we need to avoid hyperbole when possible, just so we don't run the risk of being too much out there with the story where people actually ignore what we're saying. So it's a very fine line, which we'll discuss more on during this course.